to Beyond the Standard, a Grown New Jersey Kids TA Center podcast. This is episode 6, Telling Your Center Story. And I'm your host today, TAS Chris Blount. Today we are diving into storytelling and how we can communicate to the world exactly who we are as early childhood educators. I will also be sharing a story I wrote when I was a director of a 3-star rated program, and you'll see how I use the center's origin story to better connect with staff and families. To begin, let's go back a long time. When I was 4, I went to Head Start and was introduced to the amazing world of storytelling. Those little books in our little library had a unique way of capturing my attention. And as I got older and somewhat wiser, I realized the true power of stories. They have the ability to transport us to different worlds, make us laugh, cry, and even reflect on our own experience. And some are even passed down from generation to generation and play a vital role in shaping our culture, values, and tradition. And when we think about great stories, we usually think about books and movies, right? But it's not just authors and filmmakers who can spin a good yarn. And yes, I did say yawn. Think about the comedians who crack us up, or even the self-help gurus who inspire us to be better versions of ourselves. Even pastors share stories from scripture to teach us important life lessons. Anyone know a little secret? Anyone can tell a compelling story that connects with others. Now here's the thing. Your center has a unique story to tell also. It's a big part of who you are as an educator. Your community needs to know what you do, how you do it, and why it's important to you. And now you may be thinking, all right, Chris, this is cool and all, but I'm just a little center tucked away in the corner of a small town in the middle of nowhere. Why exactly do I need to tell my story? Well, it's simple. 1, your center story communicates your mission and core values. 2, it creates connections. 3, it builds trust. And 4, it fosters a community. But let's hold off diving into these points for now. First, I would love to share a story I wrote about a center where I used to be a director. This is the story of the Learning Gate. To begin, let's go back to 1967. The Learning Gate first opened its doors in the basement of a church here in Somerset County. Back then, childcare options were pretty limited. So they offered a truly groundbreaking idea. Offer free childcare to support new moms looking to re-enter the workforce. How awesome is that? Now fast forward to today, and we moved out of the church and into a huge 3-story Victorian house where every room is a classroom. It may be old and sometimes creaks when the wind blows too hard, but it's super comfy and cozy. When you walk through our doors, you get the immediate feeling that you are in a home away from home. Now, I have to be real with you. We do have to charge tuition nowadays. I mean, how else are we going to be able to buy classroom supplies? But we're still committed to helping families in need, so we partner with both the county and the state to offer tuition assistance. So, some 60-odd years later, it's still our mission to support working families and provide affordable childcare. Diversity is a big deal here at the Gate. It's the solid foundation that our program is built on. Our staff and families come from all sorts of backgrounds, different races, cultures, religion, economic statuses, family structures, even gender identities. Even I have personally learned so much from many different cultures here. And one of my favorite traditions is Mundan. This is a Hindu tradition where a child's head is shaved to symbolize moving forward and leaving the past behind. And as a bald brown man, I joke with my families that I've adopted this tradition as an adult. And sometimes I'll take a selfie with the child and send it to their families with the caption, twins. Now there are dozens of other stories or ideas I could have included. For example, I may have said that we are committed to teacher growth through professional development, or about how we view ourselves as a community center in addition to a school. But I left these other things out because, quite honestly, I didn't want to write the early childhood version of War and Peace, and I will probably have to wake you up midway through the story. But just remember, this is just one story, a part of a collection of short stories about the overall narrative of the Learning Gate. Now let's go back and look at those 4 reasons of why you should have your own center story. If you remember, they were 1, to communicate your mission and core values, 2, create connections, 3, to build trust, and 4, to help foster a community. And as you hear more details about each of these 4 points, I want you to try to think about how they fit into the story of my former program, The Learning Gate. So when you're putting together your story, think about what really drives your program. It's your mission and core values. What's your why? Why are you into this business in the first place? Maybe you're all about play-based learning, or you're super committed to diversity and inclusion. Whatever it is, your story should reflect those values. It's like giving families and staff a sneak peek into what really makes your program tick, so they know exactly what to expect from your care. Your story has the power to create connections with families who seek a nurturing and supportive environment. By sharing your experiences, goals, and triumphs, you can create a sense of empathy and understanding. For example, sharing a story about how your center was started or even a challenging experience you overcame can help families connect with you on a more personal level. Your story is a powerful tool for building trust. You can demonstrate your commitment to providing high-quality early childhood education. When you are transparent and authentic in your storytelling, you show families that you are trustworthy, which can help to establish a strong foundation for a long-term relationship. As families hear your story, they can begin to see the why behind your program and understand that you are not just a babysitter. When trust is built, your program may likely to be recommended to others. Your story can really help build a community that believes in the bigger picture of your program. Your story can show how everyone comes together with a shared goal, raising happy, healthy, and curious kids. When people feel that sense of purpose, it creates a very strong bond. They are more likely to join in on events, workshops, and even volunteer at your center. Who wouldn't want to be part of a community like that? Now that you've heard about why it's important to have a story and what an example story looks like, let's talk a little bit about how and when you can share your story. Now, your story is not just something to share only when potential parents are touring the center. It's an ongoing narrative that should be woven in every interaction throughout the day. So here are a few other examples when it is also important. When you are fundraising or even asking for donations, why not share the impact you have on children and families, or share the difference that you aim to make? This would definitely help you connect emotionally with potential donors. When donors understand the heart behind your work, they're more likely to contribute because they can see clearly how their support will directly impact lives. Your story can come to life on social media through engaging storytelling. Share snippets of your program's personality, mission, and values. Again, think of each post as a collection of short stories. And when interviewing potential teaching candidates, why not share some of your story with them? This can have a strategic approach as it allows the center to decide whether the candidate's values and experience aligns with its mission and culture. Not only will this ensure a better fit, but it provides the candidate with a deeper understanding of the center's mission. So as we wrap up and you start thinking about the collection of stories you wish to tell, just remember, telling a good story is like trying to get a room full of toddlers to sit during a large group. It's going to take a whole lot of creativity and patience to keep them engaged and wanting to hear more. Again, I'm Chris Blount. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Beyond the Standard. And more importantly, thanks for providing our littlest learners with the best learning experience.